Hello, fellow warriors against consensus reality, lovers of truth, wisdom, the pursuit of the esoteric path, irreverence, and a whole lot of sarcasm. Now, wouldn't that be an interesting Led Zeppelin rewrite? Screw a whole lot of love, whole lot of sarcasm. I can see that actually. It's a wonderful overcast rainy morning, no gobshites outside, no uptight snooty Sydney people moving down and having conversations at the tops of their voices while they're on their little puffy runs. Yeah, fuck off, assholes. Yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm thoroughly enjoying being a hermit and a lone wolf in this 2022. Oh, you can't not. When you're surrounded by such stupidity, you can't not. When you're living in a country where the first thing people did when the scamdemic first hit 2 years ago is buy all the fucking toilet paper. Alright, that's what I'm surrounded by. A country of mask Karens. Okay? So this is why I take the piss out of these people. It's my duty. To call to, screw a call to arms, a call to sarcasm. Right? But it's kind of funny because, quote unquote, family was supposed to come over this weekend and continue to mythologize my now deceased mother and act like total gobshites, especially when they weren't there when she was at her dementia worst. Funny that. They were the armchair critics while I was dealing with the hell day in and day out. Those of you who have dealt with elderly parenting the situation know exactly what I'm talking about. Speaking of which, it's kind of funny now that I don't have MGTOW in the video title. You notice the views have gone down. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to release continuously churn out MGTOW videos because that's what gets the views. I'm sorry, that's not how I operate here. The 22 views I got in yesterday's videos, I appreciate a lot more than if I had, say, 5,000 views on a MGTOW video. Oh, don't get me fucking started on these channels. I mean, seriously, it's MGTOW taking the piss out of time here now. In the words of Ricky Gervais, I don't care. Seriously, ask yourselves a question. You guys who sort of use those kind of videos as your drug, videos on the 5,000th video on female nature and feminism and the stupid things whoring, promiscuous, uncouth women do now. I mean, how many of those kind of videos do you really fucking need? Seriously. And all these channels cater to all this fucking crap, this perpetual, this is the stupid thing that the modern day whore does. Well, I don't give a fuck, right? Yes, I know, the modern young feminist woman today is an uncouth, mouthy, masculinized whore. Yes, we know. And what else do you bring to the table? How does that contribute to one's elevation of your mind, of your soul? How does that better yourself in any way? Constantly injecting these videos into your arm, so to speak, every fucking time, hundreds and hundreds of times, thousands of times, over and over and over again. Seriously. This is why I'm Lone Wolf, and I'm happy to be, and especially when you have mindless, brain-dead, butt-hurt, fucked up, alcoholic cunts like MGTOW Maddie spewing crap in my comments. You're blocked, by the way, cunt, so your comments won't ever show up. When you've got those kind of cunts to deal with, yeah, you can understand why, according to my perspective, this whole brotherhood is a myth. Very, very, very few of these guys actually gave a fuck, and the guys that I used to have a rapport with and chat with, they no longer really give a fuck, so, whatever. I'm actually better off relying on myself, totally on myself. Funny that. When you've reached that kind of... See, because what these guys do, they replace reliance on a woman, reliance on a relationship dynamic with the MGTOW brotherhood, which doesn't even fucking exist, because you better believe any one of these cunts will stab you in the back if it means access to pussy. Okay? Regardless of their fucking talk, there are very few of these guys who are actually happily monk. And not because they're old and, you know, whatever, and couldn't be bothered anymore. No. Because they chose to be. Right? Especially those of us who are still in our 30s who decided to be monk. There's a sign of self-respect for you. I was 37 when I went monk, and I've not looked back. This year I'm 51, and if I may say for myself, no wrinkles, I'm not obese, and I've got a full head of hair, so I'm pretty sure I've made the right decision. But I digress. I just find it was funny when I saw the view numbers, you know, and it made me chuckle that the MGTOW title one that I did 2 or 3 videos ago is hovering at around 134 views or something like that, whereas yesterday's one was only 22, 23. Funny that, right? And that's the way it goes. But today I thought I'd sort of cover a little bit. I didn't really intend on going on about what I just talked about so long, but hey, it is what it is. I go with the flow, totally unscripted. Whatever comes up, comes up. But yeah, because it's rainy weather, and it kind of reminded me of that garbage song that some of you guys might remember. Remember that song, I'm Only Happy When It Rains? That's actually, well, for me that's true, because I fucking hate sun, sand and surf. When it's a really bright sunny day, whatever, I'm like a vampire. It certainly doesn't help being light sensitive, and when it's summer, that's when I get my seasonal depression. Until about, April sometime. When it starts to get a little bit cooler with autumn and everything. Yes, it's autumn, not fall, right? Stupid thing I've heard. So, according to that thinking, the seasons are, so autumn is now fall, winter is freeze, spring is grow. You don't call it spring anymore, it's grow now. See how fucking stupid that sounds? And summer is sweat. It sounds fucking stupid. And when I see some of these young sort of quote-unquote Australian kids in their late teens, early 20s, going out of their way to sound like little Americans, I want to fucking slap them across the head saying, stop acting like a fucking gobshite. Because of course over here they have Halloween, which they never fucking had ever before. Even 15 years ago. It was unheard of. Totally unheard of. Going door to door begging for sweets. I remember that at the time my elderly Hellenic mother would ask, why are they begging for sweets like the gypsies in the old country? Of course, I'm begging for food, not sweets, but you know. And it's incredible. It's absolutely fucking incredible. And you hear them, when you hear them actually talk out in public. Well, she was like, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, if you have a shot of whiskey for every time these little fucking gobshites said like, you would be drunk within minutes. And she was like, blah, 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 blah. Speak properly, you dopey cunts. English is my second language, and I can out grammar and out vocabulary any one of you fuckers, right? For fuck's sake. But kind of funny about thinking about that song and looking out the window and realising that certain biological relatives won't be visiting this week because they're so deathly afraid of the rain. Whereas I'm totally the opposite. When it's raining, I'm thinking, okay, I can go to my cafe and enjoy a gobshite-free experience, walking to the bus stop and being out and about, because these people are like the wicked fucking witch of the West. They melt when it rains, right? So, of course, that got me thinking to states of mind and experiencing unpleasant, unhelpful states of mind, i.e. depression, anxiety, all this kind of wonderful stuff. And for me, it's actually, I've realised in my own experience that the helpful approach to these things is not, oh no, we need to get away from these as much as we possibly can and bury our heads in the sand and have what I call the airy-fairy new age mentality of, you've heard these people, they're the kind of people, they're Anglos who say namaste, right? And do yoga, and they're vegan, and all this kind of fucking stupid shit. And they sort of wear light-coloured clothing, and they sort of dress like gurus and fucking mythologize India. Don't get me started on India, right? Can you say idiotic, psychotic caste system? Yeah. But it's always the Anglos that mythologize India and sort of consider this spiritual capital of the world, which it most certainly is not. But anyway, I actually remember helping, I used to work with a Serbian guy, and he was actually of that mindset at first, until I reminded, he was still technically Orthodox, Serbian Orthodox, which of course it's, Greek Orthodox, but anyway, don't tell the Bulgarians who call themselves, who pretend they're Macedonian that. You're fucking Bulgarians, be proud of your heritage and stop stealing ours. Ay, everyone wants a piece of the Hellenic action. It's amazing. But anyway, and so he was of that mindset. He was of that, go to India and sort of have that mythologize this country. Yes, I'm trying to be nice. Third world shithole was what I was going to say, but hey, whatever. And until I reminded him that of the deeper pre-Abrahamic gobshite mysticism in his own religion, which he still currently had. So that was, when I asked him what he was, what path he was still following, when he told me, I thought to myself, okay, I can work with that. So I sort of went through it with him, and I reminded him of the deeper mysticism, the pre-Abrahamic gobshite mysticism, still current in his own religious path and his own religious culture. And that actually really helps him, because he then conducted his own research, to his credit, and found that what I was saying was actually true, and that actually helped him to look in his own backyard for the mysticism he so fucking craved. And so that, as I was saying, this airy-fairy new age thinking, where, oh no, you can't acknowledge our dark side, no, it's all love and light and la 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 la. No, you actually need to gain a holistic image of yourself. You need to acknowledge all parts of yourself, and that means our dark side also. We all have one. That's part of being human. That's human nature. It's like, oh, love and light and carey-sherry fucking crap. That fucking makes me sick. But when we actually gain a holistic picture of ourselves, we actually have more to work with and more effectively to work with. So in my case, with the above mentioned wonderful states of mind, the attitude to have is not run from it or be afraid of it or bury your head in the sand, but to get right in its face and cop it full on and realize, even during your worst days, okay, this is what I'm feeling right now. Hit me. Give it to me. Right? And thereby then learning to use that and kind of transform that energy into a more what I call kinetic magical energy. In my spiritual perspective, magic forms part of my path, so of course I would use that terminology. Call it whatever the fuck you want, it's still the same energy force. Chinese people would probably call it qi. I still think that the Chinese exegesis of qi is fucking brilliant. It's probably their one brilliant contribution to them, to the whole collective cultural pot that is humanity. Their concept, their teachings on qi are fucking brilliant, spot on. But when you start to get to the point where you're not cause yourself suffering by engaging in a negative response to your state of mind, i.e. to your depression, for example, or your anxiety, or whatever it is, you actually learn to, you make it your bitch. You don't become its bitch. You understand? And you then realize that any of these energies that you experience as a human being, you actually have the power to transform them into something more useful. And that, of course, includes sexual energy, because it's one of the most powerful forms of energy we have access to. Yes, doll fuckers, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you who actually got butthurt by my video and gave me 4 thumbs down. You dopey cunts, seriously. Because you learn to transform these energies into something more useful, or as I said, in my case, I call it transforming them into kinetic magical energy. Even the traumas of the past traumas, those of you who have experienced bad traumas going back to earliest childhood, when these traumas rise to the surface for you to re-experience all over again and thereby acknowledge them and release them, and yes, you experience them every bit as painful and bad as they were the first time round, so that's always fun. But when you do that, you actually have the ability, we all do, in that moment to take the energy from these painful, terrible traumas and transform them into useful, into, as I said, in my terminology, to transform them into kinetic magical energy, thereby being able to use this energy for your own esoteric, intent, focused practice. Yes, it's available. This is what real alchemy is. It's got nothing to do with turning physical lead into physical gold. That's a problem with these Abrahamic gobshites, the Christian branch. They took a perfectly serviceable archetype allegorical story and made it real in history, which never fucking existed. There wasn't a historical Jesus. There wasn't a historical Solomon or King David. Alright? It's called allegory. It's called mythology. That is the value of a mythology. To help you to, they're the tools and the keys to help you to access deeper levels of consciousness within, and higher levels of esoteric, mental, emotional, spiritual consciousness states of being. Alchemy, real alchemy, it's all available to every single fucking one of us. So what do you do with all that, what do you do when you're horny? Yeah, I know, there are people that fucking stupid. And, especially one of the Abrahamic gobshites in one of the, live stream groups that I'm part of. Yeah, thanks Jamie for tuning in, by the way. Who got butthurt by me taking the piss out of Abrahamic gobshites. Hey, it's what I do. It's as natural to me as breathing. And he sort of made some comment about being horny and what do you do with your guitar. I don't know. Absolutely stupid. Made no sense whatsoever. Besides the fact that you're still fucking blocked, Joe Buddy. But I digress. So that's what waking up to the sound of falling rain and that song reminded me of today. So yeah, it basically means that I am actually happy when it rains, both literally and figuratively, because that's when the deepest inner work happens. Doesn't happen when you're happy, doesn't happen when you're feeling okay or content. No, it happens when you get a serious kick in the pants. And that's when you actually thank these experiences, because they're the ones that provide the most growth and transformation. Well, I think we'll leave it there. Yeah, and as always, to speak the truth is a lonely path. I actually will be going to my cafe for a coffee with this light. It's a nice light drizzle now. That's the best kind of weather. Just enough to deter the gobshites. That's what you want. As you can probably tell, I am definitely made for... I belong in somewhere like Ireland, weather-wise. Well, what about the sun in summer? Fuck summer, right? But anyway, as always, the irreverent, sarcastic, gobshite slaying, heathen hammer wielding, proudly lone wolf on guitar, out.